Well, we're gathered here, so we might as well communicate. Come as close as possible.
I would just need you guys to hold the mic when you're
informal.
I think my voice carries anyway.
אתם רוצים לעשות את זה לפי סדר הישיבה שלכם? איתי? כן. אוקיי.
תגידו שיעשה לנו.
Can you just test the mic?
שלום. You want more? You want more?
Very good. Okay. Itai?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
I have two questions for you. First one, you started out as a punk band, and then around roughly you mellowed out. Did you ever regret that?
No. Well, we didn't start out as a punk band. We just started out as a bunch of guys just making music at a certain time in musical history. And as things progressed, we developed a certain persona, which was needed because we were, in the very early days, it was really difficult to get gigs, even in pubs. I remember one of the first gigs we did, the landlord of the pub pulled the plug on us, and we put it back in. He pulled it out, we put it back in. He called the police, and this suddenly became very interesting for the 20 or 30 people in the audience. And this happened many times, so we kind of developed, I don't know if you understand the word, the contrary attitude to places and people. So our attitude evolved, and it was at the end of what they call in England the pub rock scene. And there were lots of young bands starting out, trying to react against all the glamour and what was happening at the time. And one of these bands was 101ers, which was a rhythm and blues band, and there was a guy in the band called Joe Strummer.
Yeah.
So we didn't start out as a punk band. That's the first thing. So we kind of evolved into what everyone evolved into around 1976. Lots of fighting, bars, and the music was getting faster and faster. Around La Folie, there'd become a new orthodoxy in punk. Because originally, when I first heard the word punk, it seemed to me like a fantastic kind of a broad school. A really broad school. It allowed us to do anything we wanted and not to follow the commercial diktats of the time. But after a short while, it kind of got taken prisoner by, I don't know who, but the rules were created. It was kind of new Stalinism. So they said, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And of course, on our first record, we used a synthesizer, which was considered sacrilege. And it was starting to get suffocating. So instead of being a liberating term, the word punk, it became a suffocating word. And when you've explored lots of possibilities, you want to explore more possibilities. And with our success at first, we just wanted to try out all kinds of new styles of music. That's why we started evolving. And we also, we started travelling and learning about things happening in the world outside our small little world of London.
That was a good answer.
I think it was a long answer, sorry.
One more question, quite a short one, for each of you individually. If you had to put out a cover album, which artist would each of you choose?
Well, just one artist?
Just one.
Oh, well. Well, I'd like to have a go at butchering the music of Claude Debussy.
Okay.
Booker T and the MGs.
Which one?
Booker T and the MGs. Booker T and the MGs.
Do you know Booker T and the MGs?
No. You know Green Onions?
Booker T and the MGs was one of the first multiracial bands in America before the civil rights thing. And you know the guitarist from Booker T and the MGs.
He is.
Do you know?
Steve
Cropper.
All right.
Steve Cropper wrote Dock of the Bay with Otis Redding.
Okay.
He also wrote Midnight Hour. And Booker T and the MGs were two black guys and two white guys before the civil rights thing.
Thank you.
What should we expect tomorrow night?
Well, first of all, it's Stranglers. So I think that covers. Sorry, yeah. I'll always obey a girl in a uniform. It's the Stranglers, so it's a broad church. You know, we're going to try and cover from the beginning to now.
Including the big hits.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. If I tell you everything, you won't be interested. Of course.
Well,
What if the big hits you go? Sorry, I don't know what.
okay. In your gigs, how do you really coordinate between what you artistically want to play and between being a crowd pleaser and making the best of it?
Yeah, but that's a good question because but I think that's a question which applies to a lot of artists or a lot of musicians who have had a bit of a career. What to leave out and what to keep in. It has to be a bit of a compromise between what we think of crowd pleasers and what are band pleasers. But that's kind of completely subjective. But you know, we've done it enough times. We've done it long enough. I think we kind of get a balance. Yeah.
I think the criteria would be, well, the first thing really is that we please ourselves. You know, so let's just say, for example, we play for 90 minutes, we play 25 songs, 15 of those songs will be what we want to play. And then, of course, you have to make concessions because you know that a lot of people have come to hear other things. And if you don't play them, people are disappointed. And, you know, I mean, we don't mind disappointing people. That's you know, we're human, so we'll, you know, but I think first and foremost, we just do whatever we want to do. And then after that, hopefully, people will enjoy it, you know.
There's a serious point behind your question there. We wouldn't want to become a cabaret or karaoke band. So there have been big hits, if you want, which we've stopped playing for about 10 years.
This is your second time you're in this band?
That's third time.
Third time?
Yeah, first time was in 1987. 21st of February 1987, and second time was 8 years ago with Blondie.
So it took us 21 years to come back.
Yeah.
How was it feel to come back for the third time? Was there any pressure not to come? You know,
What from? Who from?
politics?
Okay, politics. I knew politics would come here because Israel is in the centre of the maelstrom of the world, isn't it? I mean, the whole area the whole world is looking at this part of the world. Yes, there has been a bit of. There's been a bit of criticism about us coming to Israel, and this criticism is it's not much of it, but there's a bit, and it's very vituperative. It's because I think people are uneducated. I think they're ignorant of what happens. I think a lot of people realise that Israel is the only real democracy in this part of the world. So, you know, there's a lot of ignorance involved. Yes, there are contentious subjects like the territories. but that's not that's a contentious subject here in Israel as well, I believe. So yeah, there's criticism, but you know, if you always obeyed the diktats of criticism, you wouldn't achieve anything. And if we were invited to come here, so when we get invited to go anywhere in the world, we judge it on its merits. You know. Last year we were invited to do a tour of America. We turned it down because I frankly thought I was too tired, because we'd just been to Australia and done a British tour. We were invited to come to Israel, and we said, yeah, great, we haven't been for a while, and there are people who want to come and see us. If tomorrow the people of Palestine invited the Stranglers to play a concert there, I'd think that's cool, because I've never been, but they haven't. So.
Hey, hi. Hello. I'm from Aviv. I have a couple of questions, if you may. Your last album was 5 years ago. You start recording something, or for now you don't? You are going to do gigs only, and not recording new albums.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're not a Ford assembly line. We're not a machine. And I find it as we get older, we don't have any commercial pressures. So the only pressure comes from us. We really want to do music that we'll be dead soon, maybe. So we want to do. Well, you never know. Might die here. But the thing is, there's no commercial pressure. So we want to do stuff which will last. And the last 3 albums have really revitalised the Stranglers' career. So I think it's incumbent upon us to do something which has quality. Well, lasts forever.
What is forever?
Well, lasts a bit longer than we would. Yeah. So we are working on stuff, but it takes a bit of time.
Okay. Do you think that you have something like a trademark, something you can say the sound of the Stranglers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
And how you can identify something like that?
Well, I think the same as you. You just listen. It's dominated by keyboards and a bass, and then a lot of the subject matter, maybe.
Okay, one last question. So you told us you started from the punk and you evolved, and how you reach out for the young. The music is changing all the time. How do you reach out for young people that love music?
Yeah. Well, it's actually if you don't mind me saying, that's another interesting question, because in the last since 2004, I've seen a huge change in the demographic of people who come to see the Stranglers. For a start, we're playing bigger and bigger shows, and I think the last 3 albums have seemed to appeal to younger people than us old bastards. And part of the reason is because there's so much music's returned to what it was before in the early 60s. It's kind of just la variété, showbiz. And a lot of it's become showbiz. Or you fake outrage. And a lot of it's been, I don't know if you have in Israel things like the X Factor or The Voice and stuff, but a lot of young people seem to react, that generation, are reacting against it. Not all, because obviously they're successful programs, but the cooler kids, the hipper kids, are reacting against that, and because they have access to the past, they think that the things that we did, which we were had a lot of trouble for, years ago. Now it's seen as badges of honour. You know, like getting arrested or having fights or getting banned from countries or getting beaten up and everything. All this now is seen as quite cool because everything is a bit fabricated and sterile now, I think. So that's one of the reasons. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Itamar from Walla News. Just wanted to ask...
Sorry, I missed the first part of that.
I'm Itamar from Walla News website. Just wanted to ask, it was recently reported that American Express cuts funding for the Roger Waters North American tour. And due to his anti...
Oh, look, I can't hear you.
You can't hear him? It was recently reported that the American Express cuts funding for the Roger Waters North American tour due to his anti-Israel activism. And as musicians who face some of this activism and boycott pressure coming here, I just wanted to ask, do you find that decision appropriate?
Well, yeah, I've only heard about Roger Waters recently. And I think he was in a band called Pink Floyd a while back. And he seems to have taken up the cause of, which a few people have, and academics especially, have to try to boycott Israeli products. Is that right? This is part of this thing, yeah? Well, I'll just say, I think he's pretty ignorant. He doesn't know the situation properly. It is, I mean, if it was a clear-cut situation, I'd be supportive, but it's not. It's really complicated. All I can say is, well, for a start, if my neighbours told me they would kick me back out or into the sea, I would kind of get quite defensive, you know, for a start. But it's so much more complicated than that. So I'd say Roger Waters is taking it, he should come here.
He was here.
He was here? And when?
He gave a show a couple of years ago.
So why is he trying to boycott stuff here?
You should ask him that.
Maybe he didn't have a lot of fun.
Excuse me?
Maybe
he didn't have enough fun?
Yeah.
No, it's difficult not to have fun in television.
Yeah,
He actually had a good show.
People have their own reasons.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for him. I just find it, I'm kind of on the other side of the fence.
Thank you.
Do you enjoy continue perform the Stranglers?
Yes. It's the best thing I can think of with my clothes on. Yeah, I love that. The travelling, not so much these days because travelling has been, it's not so glamorous. When people look up your ass or tell you to take your Dr. Martens off. But yeah, I love playing with the Stranglers. And also, we try to change it every night because we can. Oh, sorry.
I think I'm going to say something. There you go. I think that the moment we don't enjoy it, we stop. It's as simple as that. I mean, the whole thing of forming a band is to play with your mates. Okay, ultimately, maybe you think that one day there might be a little bit of success, but that's not the governing factor. All I wanted to do was play guitar when I was a kid. And if I could play with 3 or 4 people and make a noise that people appreciate it, then all better. But the whole thing is governed by enjoyment. You know, it's entertainment, that's what it is.
Yeah. And you focus on live, not on writing new things.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, we focus on what we focus on at the time, you know. We are writing new material. We're always writing new material, and in fact, we've just been discussing it this morning. You know, to keep things fresh and interesting for ourselves. Live, it's always a pleasure to play for a crowd that wants to see us, and as long as there are people that pay the money and want to come and see the band, then we will come if it's in our power to do so. You know, ultimately, it's about enjoyment, and as he says, we love it. You know, just because we're old, and I've got no hair and I'm getting it's fine. That doesn't matter, you know. When I get on stage, I'm still 18 years old, and if you see us play tomorrow night, you'll probably say that. You know, so. Can I give this back to you now? Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Back in the day, you were known to be quite a controversial band. What do you think about today's PC era? What has it done to music? And do you think the Stranglers would have survived if it was like this back then?
Who knows? I don't know. That's completely hypothetical. But yeah, PC. This is bullshit. I mean, what is PC anyway? It's PC is what the reaction against PC is what's put Trump into potential power in the States and what forced the Brexit. You know, there's so much PC, people are suffocating. They can't say what they really want to say. Maybe that's one aspect, surely. Would we survive if we started out now? Fuck no. Probably we would have done even better. Kick against it.
יש עוד שאלות? אוקיי.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you very much for coming at this time of the day. Thanks for wearing your uniform. I'm wearing my uniform. You see these Dr. Martens? I don't know if you see them. These are Dr. Martin boots, okay? I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Martin boots, but we are the only band in the world, if you see the stencil there, we're the only band in the world who are allowed to have, Dr. Martin put the Stranglers in the logo. Okay? All the other bands want to have it, and they're not allowed.
How can I get it?
You have to take my place. You've got to have the Dr. Martin. All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.